Did you know that about 75% of couples claim that their partners make them feel unloved or unappreciated? You're not alone if you've ever felt as though your significant other spoke a different language. Maybe you feel like you're constantly doing things to show your love, but your partner doesn't seem to notice or appreciate them. Or maybe your partner does things for you, but they're not hitting the spot. What if I told you that there are in fact 5 different love languages? The concept of 5 love languages is introduced by Dr. Gary Chapman in his book, The 5 Love Languages, The Secrets to Love That Lasts. It presents a way of understanding how people give and receive love. In this video, Insight Central will present what the 5 love languages are, how each of the 5 love languages works, and address some common questions that people have based on current research. So stick around till the end, and let's dive right in. Love language number 1, words of affirmation. Words of affirmation is a love language that emphasizes the use of words to show love and appreciation. If your partner's love language is words of affirmation, they may value compliments, encouragement, and verbal expressions of love. This means that expressing yourself is the key to winning their hearts. You need to make sure to give them genuine compliments, tell them you appreciate them often, and find ways to incorporate positive words into your daily interactions with them. For example, you can do that through verbal affirmations like I love you or compliments that point out their positive qualities. It's important to refrain from making harsh, negative, or insulting comments as they have the potential to deeply wound and may not be easily forgotten or forgiven. You can also show your love to your partner with written words. Our tone of voice, eye contact, and facial expressions can all add to the power of our words. For example, saying I love you with a smile and direct eye contact can be much more impactful than saying it with a monotone voice and avoiding eye contact. So the next time you're expressing words of affirmation to your partner, pay attention to your body language as well. Here are some tips on how to effectively communicate with someone whose love language is words of affirmation. Be specific and sincere with your words. Use positive language and avoid criticism. Focus on their efforts and qualities, not just their achievements. Express your love through written notes or texts. Love language number 2, quality time. Quality time is all about spending time together and giving each other undivided attention. If this is your partner's love language, they may value activities like date nights, long conversations, and sharing experiences. It's important to block out spaces in your schedule for some quality time with your partner. Remember, canceling or postponing dates and failing to listen attentively can be especially hurtful to someone with this love language. They feel loved when you are present and focus on them when you're together. So make an effort to give them your full attention, free from distractions. Keep in mind that people with this love language are looking for quality over quantity. So it's not about how much time you spend together, but how much attention and effort you put into the time you do have together. Here are some tips on how to effectively spend quality time with someone whose love language is quality time. Put away distractions like phones or the TV and focus solely on each other. Plan activities you both enjoy. This could be something as simple as a walk in the park or a game night at home. Have meaningful conversations by asking questions and showing genuine interest in what they have to say. Show interest in their hobbies and interests. If your partner has a hobby or interest that they are passionate about, show interest and get involved. This will not only allow for quality time together, but also show that you value and support their interests. Love language number 3, receiving gifts. Receiving gifts is all about the thoughts and effort that go into a gift, rather than the material value. If this is your partner's love language, receiving gifts means everything. Forgetting important dates like birthdays and anniversaries and offering gifts that shows little thoughts can be big disappointments. They will appreciate personalized gifts that reflects their personalities and interests. For your partner, keep a list of gift ideas and make note of the unique memories from special moments you spend together. Picking a gift that is tailored to your partner conveys the message that you possess a genuine understanding and care for that person. Here are some tips on how to effectively give gifts to someone whose love language is receiving gifts. Pay attention to their interests and preferences. Make an effort in how you present the gift. Give thoughtful, meaningful gifts. Don't focus on the monetary value of the gift. Love language number 4, acts of service. Acts of service involves doing things to help your partner and make their life easier. If your partner's love language is acts of service, you can show your love by doing household chores, running errands, and completing tasks that ease the burden of responsibility. It's important to avoid broken commitments, laziness, and poor work ethics, as this can make your partner feel unloved. Going out of your way to help your partner is an effective way to capture your partner's heart. Even a small favor can be appreciated because it shows that you have them in your mind. Here are some tips on how to effectively perform acts of service for someone whose love language is acts of service. Pay attention to their needs and offer to help. Follow through on your promises. Avoid keeping score and anticipate something in return. Show your appreciation for their efforts. Love language number 5, physical touch. Physical touch is all about the power of touch and physical intimacy. If your partner's love language is physical touch, they may value things like holding hands, cuddling, or other physical expressions of love. These small physical gestures hold significant meaning for someone who values physical touch. It's important to know that physical touch does not necessarily mean sex, but it's rather a way to show emotional closeness. People who identify physical touch as their love language may feel neglected or hurt if physical touch is not present in the relationship, and they may not feel loved through kind words and compliments alone. It's also important to avoid any form of physical abuse or harsh touching, because this is not acceptable to them. But also, physical abuse is just not tolerable anyway. Here are some tips on how to effectively show physical affection to someone whose love language is physical touch. Be mindful of their personal boundaries and comfort level. Find ways to incorporate physical touch into your daily routine. Make an effort to be present and attentive during physical intimacy. Show affection through non-sexual physical touch as well. Now that we have covered the 5 love languages, let's address some common questions. Here is the first question. How do you know your love language or your partner's love language? You can figure out your love language by reflecting on what makes you feel most loved and appreciated by your partner or loved ones. The way you express love and the way you want to receive love are clear indicators of your love language. Ask yourself questions like, what gestures or actions from my partner make me feel the most loved and cared for? What types of behaviors from my partner are most likely to hurt or upset me? How do I show love and affection to others? What types of gestures or behaviors from my partner have I expressed a desire for in the past? If you're still not sure what your love language is, feel free to take the free quiz linked in the description box to identify your love language. Ask your partner to follow the same process and maybe have a conversation with each other afterward so that you are receiving love in the way that you want. Comment down below to share what your love language is. Here comes the second question. Can your love language be all of them? Now, this is a tricky question. In the book, Gary Chapman argues that most people have 1 or 2 primary love languages that they tend to use and appreciate the most. And some research supports this idea that people tend to have a primary love language that they prefer above others. However, some psychologists and others propose the opposite, that you can have more than 1 love language and your love language can even be all of them. But we have limited research on that. What do you think? Which idea is more applicable to you? Our third question is, can your love language change over time? The answer is yes. According to a study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships in 2016, people's preferred love languages can shift as they age or as their relationship status changes. This study also suggests that younger individuals tend to prioritize physical touch and words of affirmations as their top love languages, whereas older individuals were more likely to value acts of service and quality time. The researchers also found that people who were single or casually dating were more likely to prioritize physical touch, whereas those in committed relationships were more likely to value acts of service and quality time. And here comes our last question. Can your love language be different for giving and receiving? There's evidence to suggest that people often have different preferences for giving and receiving love in all types of relationships. A study published in the Journal of Sex Research found that individuals have a greater tendency to express love in the way they prefer to receive it. However, they also found that there were some differences between giving and receiving love among the participants. For example, participants who prefer acts of service as a way of receiving love were more likely to express their love through physical touch, and those who prefer physical touch as a way of receiving love were more likely to express their love through quality time spent together. What about you? Is your love language different for giving and receiving? So there you have it, the 5 love languages in a relationship. Please do note that the concept of love languages applies to any type of relationship, not just romantic relationships. This includes friendships, family relationships, and even professional relationships. In any relationship, understanding and speaking the love language of the other person can improve communication, strengthen the relationship, and make the other person feel valued and appreciated. If you like this video, you might also like our video on the 19 mind-blowing psychological facts about attraction. So check it out. We hope you found this video helpful and informative. And as always, thanks for watching.